Yoga is the connection of mind, body, and spirit. When we take time for ourselves, we're better able to show up in our day-to-day lives, knowing that the tools we need are always within us, using our breath and our body as our guide. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's practice. My name is Brittany, and I'll be guiding you for today. We'll be working on our posterior chain of the body, or also known as the back body. So we'll get started lying on our backs. So take your time to make your way, allowing the feet to come to the outer edges of our mat, and one palm to rest on top of the belly, and the other over top of our heart space. So oftentimes when we arrive on our mat, when we begin to focus in on our breath, we think of the front line of our body. We feel our chest, our ribs, and our belly expand on the in-breath. And on the exhale, we feel the belly drawing back towards our spine as the ribs begin to knit in towards one another. And you might even feel the palms rise and fall with your breath. But then see if we can take our awareness to the back body. Maybe you feel between the shoulder blades begin to expand in through the mid-back, and maybe you can feel the breath all the way into the low back. Imagining the breath kind of like a cylinder, the sides of the body even begin to move. There's this constant expansion and contraction, this ebb and flow. And for our practice, we'll explore a little bit with curiosity this back line of our body and how it feels as we move through different shapes. And we'll start to wiggle out the fingers, circling out through the toes, maybe even nodding the head from side to side. And then on the inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, legs draw together, toes to point towards the front of our space. We'll take an inhale here. And then on the exhale, draw one knee in towards the body, and then the other palms will come behind the thighs or to the tops of the shins, whichever is more accessible today. And we'll just find a gentle rock from side to side, maybe even creating a small circle with the knee. And then reversing that direction. Coming back through to center. We'll take the palms to the tops of the thighs, begin to press them away from the body, stacking the knees with the hips and the shins in line with the calves as we flex the toes in towards the knees. Just observing how this feels through the core space. And we'll take the fingers, interlace them together, bring them behind the base of the skull, thumbs pointing in towards the line of our neck. And on the inhale, we'll begin to lift the head just a little bit away from the mat. See if you can keep the back of the neck soft as the elbows are open wide towards our mat. Maybe taking the gaze between the thighs, take an inhale. And then on the exhale, tap the left heel to the left corner of your mat. Inhale to stack the knee with the hip. And then exhale, tap the right heel to the right corner of your mat. Observe if the low back is beginning to lift away from the mat. Can you draw the bottom rib in towards the top line of the hip? Navel drawing in towards the spine. And you might begin to feel the core shake a little bit here. That's okay. Meeting our body where it is. Moving smooth and steady. We'll inhale, bringing the knees back through to center. Come to rest the head back down onto the mat. Bend through the knees, soles of the feet plant down onto the mat. Arms will come alongside the body, palms facing down. Imagine that the feet were about hip distance apart, which is usually 2 fists stacked together between the feet. So just imagining that. And then we'll walk the heels in towards the sit bones. Imagine that you could graze the backs of the heels with the tips of the fingers, and it's okay if you can't. On the inhale, we're going to tuck our tailbone, begin to lift our hips up towards the sky, engaging through the glutes, and imagine the knees drawing towards the top of your space. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, slowly lower down. Hips come all the way back to our mat. And then inhale, we're tucking the tailbone, find that lift. And exhaling, coming down. Begin to move with your breath. And then next time that the hips come up, maybe the arms reach up and overhead. And then exhale, arms can come back down alongside the body as the hips lower. Maybe this feels comfortable and maybe it doesn't, and that's okay. So just moving either the arms or the hips depending on what feels stable, comfortable through the body. And then we'll exhale, hips come down to the mat, arms come alongside the body, palms facing down. Draw one knee in towards the chest, then the other. Palms behind the thighs. We'll begin to rock along the spine if it feels comfortable. If not, rocking onto your spine. We'll meet up in a comfortable seat at the top of our mat. So we'll root through the sit bones, stacking our pelvis with our ribs and softening the shoulders away from the ears. Taking a moment here, feeling this length from the tailbone all the way through to the crown of the head. And then we'll inhale, bring the palms together at heart center. On the exhale, interlace the fingers together. The palms are going to press towards the top of your mat. Begin to round through the spine, draw the navel in, chin towards the chest. And then inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale to release the arms. They're going to interlace behind the back, opening through the chest, maybe even taking the gaze up towards the sky. And then exhale to release the arms. The palms come back together at heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale, fingers interlace. Press the palms towards the top of our mat. We're finding that rounding through the spine. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, we release, palms behind the back, opening through the chest. Maybe the palms stay close in towards the low back. Maybe they begin to hover, lifting away. Feeling really rooted through the sit bones. And then exhale, release, palms come back towards heart center. We'll do one more. Inhaling here. Exhale, fingers together, pressing them forward, round. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale to release. Fingers interlace together, opening through the chest. Exhale to release, arms sweep back around, palms come together at heart center. We'll inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And then exhale, palms spread wide, fingers spread wide. We're planting them down to the top of our mat. We'll stack our wrists with our shoulders and the knees underneath our hips. So making our way onto hands and knees, exploring how this feels in our body. Checking in with what's coming up here. Option to stack the palms into fists if our wrists are feeling sensitive. Option to tuck the knees under the toes underneath if our knees are feeling sensitive today. Or tops of the feet can plant down. I'm just checking in. We'll take an inhale to extend our left heel back, tucking the toes underneath. feeling this line of energy from the sole of the foot all the way into our left glute and then all the way to the crown of our head. Option 2, stay here, or maybe we extend the right arm in line with the ear, finding this balancing tabletop. You might notice you're leaning over towards the left and see if you can bring it back through to the center. Always option to keep the right palm planting down. We'll take an inhale for length. And on the exhale, tap the left toes and the right fingertips down onto your mat. Inhale to lift. And then exhale to tap. Exploring this movement through the body. Moving at your own rhythm and pace. And then on our exhale, we'll plant the right palm back down, bend through the left knee, stack it back underneath the hips, taking that inhale. And then exhale, we're kicking our right heel back, toes tuck underneath, feeling that line of energy. And again, option here, maybe we extend the left arm in line with the ear. Exhale to tap. Inhale to lift. Exploring this side of the body with curiosity. Can we still find our breath in this moment? And then exhale, left palm plants down, right knee tucks underneath the hips. On the inhale, tuck the toes underneath. On the exhale, sit bones reach up, thighs press back. We're finding our first downward facing dog. Maybe walking out the feet back so that we can find some length through the legs. Maybe we walk the fingertips forward, lengthening out our stance. Option to bend through the knees so that we can find a little length through the spine. Pedaling out the feet, finding a little bit of movement here, anything that feels really good in the body. And then we'll inhale to come back through to center, reach the left leg up and back. On the exhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest, plant the foot between the palms, we're lowering the right knee down. And then inhale to reach the arms up towards the sky. Keeping the right toes tucked underneath, this time take the gaze up and then maybe find a slight back bend here. Opening through the chest and then maybe cactusing the arms, opening them wide. On the exhale, come back to a neutral spine. The elbows and palms will touch as we round. Inhale to open. And exhale. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, reach the fingertips up, coming back to a neutral spine, and then plant the palms down onto the mat. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, step the right foot all the way up to meet the left. On the inhale, palms to shins or thighs, halfway lift, neutral spine. Exhale, soft bend in the knees as we fold forward. Inhale to rise up, reach up. And then exhale, palms together at heart center. Inhale to bend through the knees, reach the sit bones back. Finding our chair pose, glutes are engaged, maybe finding a point of focus. And then ground through your left foot, come up onto the tippy top toes of your right. Plant the right foot down, ground through the right, and then pop up onto the tippy top toes of the left. We'll ground through our left, popping up onto the right. Checking in with how this feels in the body, and then we'll ground through the right. Come up onto the left. Ground through the left, and then inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And then on the exhale, we'll swan dive. So arms are going to come out towards the sides, towards the hips, hinging through the hips, bending through the knees, reaching the arms back, and then pause here for a moment. Feeling that length through our side body. Our glutes are engaged. and feeling stable through our lower half of the body. We'll take another inhale, and then exhale, the palms will come down the thighs, folding forward down the calves, planting the palms onto the mat, and then bend enough through the knees so that you can walk, step, or hop to the back of your space. Taking an inhale through our plank, and then exhale, lower the knees down. We'll lower all the way onto our mat. Tops of the feet to root down, and this time arms are going to come alongside the body, palms facing down. On the inhale, chin and chest to lift, draw the shoulder blades together, hover the hands. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, chin, chest, palms. This time, hover the feet, point them back towards your mat. Glutes are engaged, keeping the gaze down. Back of the neck is soft, feeling strong and long through the body. We'll take 2 rounds of breath here, finding our inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, release everything down to the mat. Inhale, palms plant back underneath the shoulders. We'll tuck the toes underneath. On the inhale, press up the hands and knees. And then exhale, lift the knees. Sit bones reach up. Thighs press back, our downward facing dog. Checking in here, how are we feeling? We'll take another inhale, reach the right leg up and back. Exhale to draw the right knee in towards the chest, around through the spine, plant the foot between the palms. We lower our left knee down, and then inhale to rise up, keeping the left toes tucked underneath just for a little more balance and stability here. We'll take that inhale. And then exhale, take the gaze up towards the sky, and maybe we begin to lean back. Observing how this feels in the body. And then inhale, opening through the chest, cactus the arms. And then exhale, elbows connect, rounding through the spine. Inhale to open. And exhale here. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, we'll open. Exhale to reach the arms up. And then palms plant down to the mat. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. We'll step our left foot all the way up to meet the right. Inhale, palms to shins or thighs, halfway lift. And then exhale, soft bend to the knees as we fold forward. Inhale to slowly rise up, reach up. And exhale, palms together at heart center. Feeling really grounded and stable through our feet. And then we're going to find a little bit of a dance here. So we'll take an inhale, bending through the knees, reaching the sit bones back. And then on the exhale, ground through the left foot as we draw the right knee in towards the chest. So you might just keep the hands to hips or at heart center. And then inhale, we ground down. And exhale, finding that lift. So you might start to establish a point of focus. Moving with your breath. Feeling that shift of the weight from side to side. And then the next time that we come up onto our right foot, left knee in towards the chest, we're going to pause here for just a moment. And we have a few options of coming into the next pose, so I'll walk you through them. Option to find a micro bend through the right knee. Begin to extend your left heel back. Flex the toes in towards the knee, and you'll begin to hinge from the hips. So imagine as the left heel draws up, you come forward. Imagine that the left foot was pressing into an imaginary wall, and you can keep the hands on the hips, and maybe the arms begin to reach forward, or you can reach them back, finding our warrior 3. If this is a lot for the right hip, then you'll find your blocks, bringing them onto the highest height, and you'll find a stable position here with the left foot down, Begin to bend through the left knee and then extend the left heel back. So we're finding that same length from our left heel to the crown of our head, engaging through the back line of our body, feeling really stable and strong here with our breath. And saving enough to come out of this pose, so we'll take another inhale. And then on the exhale, draw the left knee back in towards the chest. Plant the left foot down. We'll inhale, reaching the arms all the way up towards the sky. And then exhale to fold, letting all of that go. Maybe the feet come a little wider than hip distance and find gentle rock from side to side. Maybe observing how the left side body feels. And then we'll slowly, keeping the arms heavy, inhale, begin to roll back up. See if the head can rise up last. As if we were moving through molasses, shoulders draw up and down the back as our arms come beside the body, palms facing towards the top of our space. Coming back to our breath, our foundation. And then we'll find that rock back and forth, that little dance in our body. So inhale, bending through the knees, sit bones reach back. Hands can stay at heart center or on the hips. And then we exhale, drawing the right knee in towards our chest. And then coming back down. And you might add on the arms this time. Inhale, arms up and overhead as we sink our hips back. And then exhale, arms come beside the body as we draw the knees in towards the chest. Moving with our breath and our body. And maybe the feet stay really close to the ground. Maybe our balance is feeling a little off today. Just acknowledging that and know that that's okay. And the next time we'll ground through our left foot. Exhale, draw the right knee in towards the chest. Again, we have our options here. So hands can come to the hips or stay at heart center. And we find that point of focus as we begin to draw the right heel back. Pressing through the back of the heel, toes flex in towards the knee, micro bending through the left knee. And as our right foot begins to dip up, we begin to hinge forward from the hip. Finding this length in the body, and know that if you fall out of this, that's okay. Maybe you even just tap the toes and find that lift. So engaging through the glutes. Again, maybe you found the option with the block a little more stable in the body. So we find our blocks on the highest setting, feeling that length in our halfway lift, slight bend of the knees. As we lift our right toes, kick the right heel back, feeling that length through the body. Seeing if you can keep the hips level with one another. Saving enough energy to come in and out of this pose. So wherever we are, finding that variation that works in our body. Maybe the arms are reaching back or forward. We'll all start to come back on that exhale. Draw the right knee in. And then exhale, release the right foot down. Reach the arms all the way up. And then exhale, we fold forward. Generous bend through the knees. We'll bring the feet wider than hip distance. Gentle rock from side to side. And then we'll plant the palms down onto the mat. Option here to walk, step, or hop to the back of your mat. Taking an inhale through plank. And then on the exhale, hover the left heel. Inhale to tap it down. Exhale will lift the right. And then moving with your breath here. Finding that hover, finding that strength. 2 more on each side. Slow, steady, in control. And then we'll lower from the knees, coming down to our bellies. Tops of the feet to root down, and then we'll bring the forearms in front of the body, fingers spread wide, stacking our elbow with our shoulder and our elbow in line with our wrist. If we have any low back sensitivity, we'll bring the feet wider than hip distance. And then inhale as though you were pulling the chest through the upper arms, feeling the upper body expand, shoulder blades draw together, and then softening through the breath. Taking in the sounds happening around you. Maybe feeling a little inner peace. We'll bring the palms to stack on top of one another, elbows out towards the sides, bringing the forehead down onto the mat. And then we'll bend through the knees and windshield wiper the heels from side to side. And the knees will come back through to center, plant the feet onto the mat, bring the feet back to about hip distance. We'll cactus the arms and bring the left ear to rest on top of the mat. We'll bend through the right knee, finding a 90-degree angle with our knee, or option to draw the knee farther away from the body depending on how this feels. And just observing our breath. Maybe feeling the back body expand and contract. And then we'll extend our right leg back, coming onto our right ear. And then the left knee bends, drawing it in towards the body. And still softening the breath. Extending the left leg back. Bring the left palm underneath the shoulder. Right arm is going to loop all the way over to the left side of your mat. Come up onto your right hip. And then we're going to flop over like a pancake onto our back. And then bring the palms to rest on top of the belly. Feet to the outer edges of the mat. Maybe taking up a lot of space. Maybe the feet come off of the mat. Maybe you're reaching the arms up and overhead. Taking in the space that you're in. Maybe taking this moment of gratitude for our practice. You can stay here as long as you'd like. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was an honor and a privilege to guide you. Namaste.